Are you attracted to coins or more coins? Or are you perhaps attracted to ducats? Hello, 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 and it's Dev Diary time again. Isn't that exciting? It's been, well, we haven't really had full Dev Diaries since CK3 came out, but now we have one, Dev Diary number 43, and guess what? It's a ruler of your own. And this Dev Diary is written by Matthew, who's one of the programmers on the CK3 team. If that name sounds familiar, there was a community post I made about it, 2 weeks ago or so. Let's go take a look at that. Here it is. About 2 weeks ago, I made a prediction that we were going to get a ruler designer because Matt here posted this lovely picture. If we blow it up, we will see, I can't quite blow it up any farther, but here you go. Take a look at it closer. There we go. And in this lovely picture, you can see this Duchess Matilda of Tuscany. That looks, pretty standard, except for the fact that you realize she has no parents. She has no grandparents. What is this? And then if we look down here in the very bottom corner, you can see that it says the year 867, and we all know Duchess Matilda of Tuscany is a starting character in 1066, which of course led me to ultimately be sure we're getting our ruler designer very soon. And that is basically what Matt says here in the Dev Diary. He does confirm that we will be getting ruler designer hopefully before the end of 2020. So we've got some good news this year, right? All right. But you will access it the same way you do when you're going for another ruler. You place any ruler in 1066 or create your own, or I'm assuming, of course, 867 as well, because, we just want to play in the Viking era. And there we go. So he is showing where it is here. You can select when you go to game rules. You can also create your own ruler and play, which this is exciting because in CK2, there was a ruler designer. But in CK2, it was a DLC that you had to buy in addition. So if we look at the long list of DLC here for CK2, which there's quite a lot, as you can see. But if we come all the way down here, we have the ruler designer, which was $5. $5. And then, it came out right after the game actually came out. The game came out in February 2012, and then this came out in April 2012. You see it's mostly negative, mainly because people didn't want to have to pay for it. Because it feels like this should have been something that was in the game to begin with, or in the game for free with a free patch, even if it didn't come out when the game came out for, whatever reason. And I kind of got it, because one real problem here with the ruler designer in CK2 is that every time you added traits to someone, which of course none of these images show, it upped the age or downgraded the age of your character. So if you wanted to play as a 16-year-old and you wanted to give him some good traits or some positive traits that actually give him some skills, he would not be 16 anymore, because let's say adding genius was adding 30 years to his age. So you couldn't play with starting with a genius unless they were a minimum of 46 years old. Seriously. If you're playing as a dude, at least you can still have kids. If you want to play as a woman, well, yep, good luck with that. You ain't having kids. And adding kids to your family, it was sort of not perfect unless you gimmick the system by adding things like wounded and all sorts of stuff. But people did make mods for Ruler Designer Unlocked, and those were pretty popular. I did like those myself. But so here for CK3, the ruler designer, they're going to be doing something different. If we take a look at this lovely image here, you can see that we get a point system up here in the top, customization points, which is interesting. So you can use the points to customize your character, their skills, are they married, do they have children, what traits they have. Each trait has a different weight to it. And you can there is no real limit. There is an achievement limit of 400. So if you have more than 400 points spent on a character, you're not going to be able to get achievements with them. So it's I think, pretty darn fair, because they want you to make realistic characters. You can decide their age, which I'm assuming age also adds to how many points they use, weight, because if they're too skinny or too fat, they will have health malices. Because, guys, weight is tied to your health, especially in the era before modern medicine. And you can see over here, you get to pick their sex, their sexual orientation, their faith, culture. You can name their character. You can randomize a name if you're like, I don't know who I want to play. Let's just randomize until I find one I like. I like that. their dynasty name as well. There is no shield generator. You can't design your own dynasty shield, mainly because they said it would take way too long to get it into the game currently, and they did not want to delay putting this out. So fingers crossed we'll get one eventually, or maybe someone will mod one in, or maybe, you know, you can easily mod in shields into your game so you can pick what you like. But you can click here and just click the random button until you find one you enjoy. You can also pick the realm. And then over on this side, of course, we have our points, our age, our weight, and then you select their traits. You get their education, and then 3 personality, and then you can give them other traits. Are they a genius? Yes, Rosebud. Are you a genius? It's too young to tell. Okay. And then, of course, you can also give them extra skills. So let's say you gave them traits that make them really, really good at stabbing people in the back, but you're like, they only have 5 learning. I think that's a little ridiculous. I want them to be a little bit smarter. Let's get you up to 9 learning. And you use some points to up their learning. And prowess as well. As prowess also gives them more muscle, so it does change their physical appearance. You can check if they're married or not, if they have kids. So, you know, if you want to make things a little more stable for you potentially when you jump into the game. Because, of course, your character here is coming out of nowhere. They don't have family to keep them safe. You don't have a backup heir if you die 2 months into the game because you get into battle and you get bumped on the head. And then you can also go into change appearance here. So here's the images we have so far for ruler designer changing appearances. You can choose their base ethnicity here from the game. And what's also cool as well is that you can just do this, or you can click customize further, which we'll take a look at the images for that. But you can also copy DNA and paste DNA. Now this is really interesting because let's say you make a really, really cool character and you play with him or her, and you think they look awesome. They are the coolest thing since sliced bread, and you want to share them with the world. Well, you can copy that DNA, save it in a file, and share it on Reddit. Share it with your friends on Discord. Share it with your friends through Facebook Messenger or whatever system you use to talk to your other gaming friends. It's pretty cool. Or just save it for yourself, so you are always playing as the magnificent Chad. Sorry, Spiff, but, you know, everyone's going to want to play as Chad, so he's going to have to copy that DNA and just share it with everybody, right? I would assume. If you don't know who Chad is, you've been living under a rock. All right. We also, if we go into more appearance changes here, you can change their body, head, neck, ears. It's basically like playing Skyrim or The Sims. You can do it all. I love this gradient for the skin color. Like, that is just glorious. So you can change their height, bust size, only visible for women. I'm scared to see what some people come up with that. Complexion type, how much body fat they have, hairstyle, beard. I'm assuming unless someone does an unlocked mod, beards will only be for men, as they currently are in the game. Yeah, look at this. It's awesome. Look at all these sliders. I know people have been missing sliders. They've been wanting sliders in PDX games for eons now, ever since they got taken out. But look, they're back, and they're back in the best way possible. Here we have, and you can choose all the hair types that we've seen so far in the game. It's lovely, it's wonderful, stupendous. One thing we also got to see here in the dev diary is about how much different things cost for different points, which is pretty cool. Let's zoom in on this one. If you take a look, the base level ones are free. It doesn't cost any points because your person has to have an education, so that makes sense. But then it increases dramatically. 2 stars plus 20 points, 3 stars plus 40, 4 stars, 80 points. And that seems to be pretty standard for all of the different types of education across the board. So, you know, do you want to spend your points on this, or do you want to spend your points on better traits? I do wonder that if this is going to make it a little too easy, possibly, for one of the achievements. Alright, so one of the achievements in the game currently is Paragon of Virtue. Have 3 or more virtuous traits. So I could see if you could probably game the system and get this achievement very easily by selecting a religion that you could then select 3 virtuous traits for, spend all your 400 points on that and load in with achievements and get Paragon of Virtue. Boom! I would not be surprised if this 2.6% of people that have achieved this achievement jumps way up to probably, something here in the late teens to maybe even 30%, because it would just be easier for people who want to do it. We'll see how many people game the system like that and how many people just sort of want to play for fun. It's going to be interesting. We also got a little bit of a hint here at the different points, how much they cost. So this person, their age being 25 years, costs 67 points. Their diplomacy, all of those are 12. Prowess is 6. Temperate was 40. Wrathful was 30. Cynical 30. Wise man 20. So pretty cool. And it's interesting as well that it shows you the year they were born, of 1041, as well as the age, which I think that's a nice little thing. But see, even this is not a bad looking character. 25 years old. Intricate Web Weaver, which is the 3-star one. Like, you could easily make it a 4-star, and you'd still only be 330 points, 33 points, which would still have you below the 400 achievement limit. You could spend a few points upping some of your skills and still be able to get achievements. So I think this system is more than fair. And it actually doesn't surprise me, because during No CB Cast 2 weeks ago, we were discussing our predictions about there being a ruler designer. Matt, known as Black Ninja on Twitch, he hopped into our chat and he just casually mentioned that he did not like how ruler designer worked in CK2. He did not work on that. I don't think he was even with Paradox back in 2012 when that came out. And that just made us feel really good, because we at least knew it would not work the same way in CK3, and it doesn't. And I will have to be able to play with this to see, but it looks much better. It looks much better. Like, I love mods, and I love being able to play with mods, and that games are so easily moddable. But having mods as a requirement for a game, no, you shouldn't be required to play with a mod. And the way Ruler Designer was before, unless you really game the system, you were kind of required to play it with mods if you really wanted to enjoy it. So, what are your thoughts on the Ruler Designer? Do you think this is how you would like to see it? Would you prefer something different? Are you excited to be able to design wacky characters? Because if The Sims and Skyrim, Oblivion are anything to go by, people like taking these sliders and making the weirdest looking people on the planet. And so I'm very interested to see if we are able to do that with CK3, because it's gonna be interesting. You also will finalize your character. When you do hit finalize character and jumps into the game, look at that, they have Kaiser Magnus of the Holy Roman Empire. Not too shabby, is he? Not too shabby indeed. They even gave him 3 children. Here at the end, Matt did show some of their early concepts for the Ruler Designer and what they were working on. I love the coins for sexuality here. Like, and for the sex of the character. Yes. Do you want to be coin or coin? Are you attracted to coins or more coins? Or are you perhaps attracted to ducats? And they did finally get images. Though why one of them's a skull? I don't know. But there we go. Here we get some of the funny looking characters. Look at this beauty. She is absolutely gorgeous, isn't she? Full on beauty. Totally 100% you want all your kids to look like her. Even better if she's married to him. I'm pretty sure this is a glitch, but my God, is that terrifying. But on that image, I'm going to leave you folks. What are your thoughts on the Ruler Designer? What are you hopeful for? What else do you think is going to come with this patch? Because since we're starting Dev Diaries again, I wonder what else they're going to be announcing. It's going to be interesting to see. So, thank you so much for watching, and I apologize there for not being many videos lately. Blame this little guy who's trying to cry right now. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.